This ain't a competition because you cannot compete. If you compete with what God gave me, you're going to lose every time.
Competition, boo. Just do what you do. Just do what you do.
My name's Ngazi Kim, and this is NoHo Production Oasis. This is our first panel event ever called Sis, You're Doing a Good Job. Little backstory on me, 9 years of writing sketch comedy on YouTube, and constantly I have to remind myself that I'm doing good because it takes a lot to actually walk in your purpose and everything. Is it off? Is it okay? So if I've been feeling this way for damn near a decade, I was like, there's other women out there that feel this way as well, and I'm looking for a tribe, a new community of other women who can relate, that are walking in their purpose, and I want to let them know tonight that they're doing a good job. Tonight we have Alyssa.
Hi.
And we also have Alaji.
Ooh.
Okay.
That double A. Like,
So,
okay.
I'm going to let you introduce yourself, Alyssa.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can I switch that back with you?
Absolutely.
Because this one was malfunctioning just
Hello?
a little
Okay,
bit.
okay.
Okay. So I'm Alyssa Brayboy. I am a actor, producer, writer, director, multi-hyphenate. I do all of the things. I own a production company. It is Buttons. We like to push them. And that is me.
Nice.
Yay! I just want to say thank you to the people that are here and holding it down. Like, so let's just give a round of applause for them. Even for yourselves. Please clap for yourself. No, we're all about that. We're about self-love. Like, you could be anywhere tonight. It's LA. It's October.
Right.
People are going crazy with the costumes.
Right.
Facts.
So y'all could have been anywhere, and we're thankful that you're seeing the roots. You're seeing the roots. So my name is Alaji. I'm from Detroit. I'm a storyteller. I'm a child of God. I own a organization called Get Healed, which is a creative ministry. So I do all things storytelling, all things healing.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
And we are so happy to have you ladies here. I have so many questions, so many things that I want to ask you. I want to start off by asking, what is the one thing that you think about that holds you back? Like, we all know how far we want to go. We have a vision. We are visionary women, but sometimes that vision gets a little foggy, a little cloudy, right?
Yeah.
What is the one thing that you feel is holding yourself back?
Because the moment you said it, my intuition, myself was like, yourself. And I was like, can you be quiet? Like, I am the thing that holds me back the most. But at the same time, I have to recognize that I still push forward. Yet from time to time, I get in my own way. I get overwhelmed. I think I have that imposter syndrome of like, who do you think you are? Like, and I start to care about being perfect, about having to always be on, and as a woman of color, it's like, what I have to do has to be, like, I can't be mediocre, like, it has to be 111% all of the time. I cannot put anything half-assed out anywhere. And sometimes I'm like, but that's my way of thinking, but it's also my conditioning in terms of how I have been raised, like how I grow up, and so I have to breathe and remind myself like that, you know what, we're going to take one step forward, 2 steps back, but you're still making progress. And so you have to allow yourself to count your wins.
Right.
No, like, and stop worrying about other people and what they think of your wins, what they think about your losses.
Right.
And I read something the other day that says you're not afraid of failing. You're afraid of other people seeing you fail.
Right.
And in that moment, I said that right now, and I just got goosebumps. I was like, oh, okay.
So it's you. It's mindset. Okay.
It's my mind. It's the idea of what other people are going to think about what I'm doing. But like it's that non-alignment of, okay, I know, but sometimes I don't know.
Right. Well, I'm here. That's why we're here to say, sis,
You're
doing a good job. What about you, Elijah?
Yes.
Thank you for that. I'm learning a lot already. I'm just so grateful. I prayed for this. Like, I prayed to be in these spaces with people in LA. There's so many people you can connect with. But it's like, are you really connecting?
Right.
Are you really ever going to talk to them again?
Right.
Are you really, So for me, it's strategy. I am learning how to do this. So I am in the midst of learning how to do it. It is something I've recognized that holds me back. For example, things that I have been wanting to release or do for years. I write poetry. I've been writing poetry since about 6 years. I've wanted to publish a poetry book for at least 3. Why haven't I done it? It's not because I'm not creative, because I have lots of ideas. It's the strategy. So when you're very creative, strategy is very important. Consistency is very important. Having people who will hold you accountable and pick you up off of the floor is very important. So for me, I'm like, okay, calm down. It's not that you're not doing enough. You're doing a lot.
Sis,
You're doing a good job. So it's that reminder. Even today, I left my phone at home. I had to stop and tell myself, sis, you're doing a good job. Like, this is not just for us to be saying, we're up here on a stage and someone else is watching us.
Right.
We are living this out and want people to live it out with us.
Right.
So for me, it's strategy. I'm looking for a new therapist right now who will help me with that.
Right.
That's like life coaching, but also going to help me spiritually. So both. So for me, I'm learning what calendars work for me visually.
Right.
Do I need to plan things out hour by hour? I have a planner that's that way. And then I have a planner that's task by task. So for me as a creative and with ADHD, I'm just like, okay, I got all the ideas, but the ideas need an execution.
How to implement,
Right.
So I'm learning how to implement.
Right. I'm going to go ahead and answer my own question,
Yes.
too.
Yeah, please
like,
do.
for this, for example, I told you guys I'm coming from a comedy background on YouTube, and simply I would get together with friends right here and create content and then put it online, right? Okay, great. God gave me this,
Yes.
right? Nobody gave me this place in Los Angeles during a pandemic but God, right?
Okay.
And so when I'm like, okay, I have this idea, I want to put it out there, right? I put it out there, I do the tickets, all this stuff, right? And then there's still like, oh, I hope people show up, right? I hope. And in those moments, it's like, it doesn't matter who shows up. You showed up for yourself by
Right.
doing it. You know?
Yeah.
As we're showing up for ourselves. And sometimes we forget that, and we get, it's crazy because we get in our own way, and that's the only person in our way. Nobody
Yes.
else can say you can't do, nobody else can get in our way but us. So
That's good. That's good.
nobody, there's no, like, when you're tripping over your own feet, like, nobody tripped you. You tripped yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And when we realize that, we're like, okay, girl, we can have those conversations with ourselves. Like, you're actually doing good. Just tie the shoelaces to your soul and just like keep going.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm gonna
No, go
jump
ahead.
in there
Yeah.
because you have to allow yourself to do that good job. Like, you have to, like, because you will get tripped up. You will think that other people, like, it's their fault or it's this, but it's like, no. Like, how you allow other people to affect you, how you allow them to, how you allow yourself to affect yourself,
Right.
even. It's like, actually, no. Like, you have to accept the blessings that are coming to you. You have to accept the fact that, you know what, it's not what I thought it was going to be, but I'm still moving forward.
Right.
I'm still doing the damn thing. But the more that you block that, the more that you resist
Right.
all that you are doing, and you keep thinking that it is not enough, like, you are doing it to yourself. If you allow yourself to, like, soak in everything that you're doing, you will realize, okay, like, I'm learning, I'm figuring it out, I'm stumbling, I'm getting back up. Then it just aligns differently when you allow.
Right.
So you can either allow for yourself to trip yourself up, or you allow to trip but get back up. Like, what are you gonna do?
Right. So if you weren't working in the production space, right, and if you weren't working in the spiritual and healing space, what would you be doing? If I wasn't doing this, I've had so many jobs.
Ooh.
So you know. So,
Mama go.
Alaji,
I got
Yes,
where would you
you got
be?
it.
Where
I know
would
what
you,
I would be
where
doing.
would you be?
Okay, don't have anybody else. I love watching HGTV. This is also another dream of mine. Look, God can do it all. Once you start giving that money, I'm looking at houses now.
Right.
I would just, my dream is like me and my husband, you know, we are getting fixer-uppers, and we are, the architecture is such, I look on Instagram all day, you know, that's what's on my TL, is like other people, it's like funny memes. For me, it's architecture in Sweden, this place, trees outside. I love aesthetic. I love feeling a certain type of a way. I want to live in a treehouse. I love the barn on the. So for me, that's connecting to healing. It's a story. You can tell a story with the way that you live, the entrance, people coming into your home. How do they feel when they come in? Is it a sanctuary? So that's something I still want to do. You know, when it's possible. But I'm always going to be an actor, and I'm always going to be a teacher of God, because it's just naturally who I am. It's not a career for me. It is my. It is my being. It is my being.
Yo.
I can't escape it. Because if I could not be an actor, trust me, I think I would not be. You know. But I love it. I love storytelling. I love it.
Right. I have one more thing. I have one more question. Okay, so you came to LA to pursue acting, right?
I did.
What was the turning point of you? Because clearly you had a vision. You have Get Healed Co. Make sure you guys are following on Instagram.
Yes.
You have. That's clearly something that you were bringing to life. Like you see it,
I
just
do.
like push buttons, LA, right? You see it. So at what moment did it switch from like, okay, yes, I'll always be an actress. I'm an actress. I'm still an actress. I'm going to get new headshots soon.
Yeah,
Guys
yeah.
is going to come with me to make sure these headshots are good, right? When did it turn from I'm an actress, but also, wait, I have this vision that I have to bring to life?
This is such a good question. Life happened. Life
Okay.
happened. Life happened, and I was acting, I was booked, I was blessed, I had a boyfriend. Like, all of the things that we see on Instagram, like hashtag goals was me. I was like, oh, I'm happy, yeah. But there was always something missing, and I love to journal. When I go back and read my journals, I was reading, I was 21. I'm 26 now, I'm about to be 27. And I was reading, and when I was 21, I was writing out events, healing. This is what we're going to do. A lot of my events for ministry, for teaching the word of God, I use acting exercises because it helps you connect.
Yes.
Right? So it's like they were all always the same thing. And when life happened, something traumatic happened with me and my boyfriend at the time. And I was like, you know what? Acting has to take a back seat. And it didn't even really take a back seat. I still did a film I didn't even audition for that was a really big deal in my career. It was like acting was still following me. But I was like, I can't just hit the ground running in LA. Like, I can't just go out there and be like, acting, headshots, everything, da-da-da. I was like, I really need to get rooted. And then it just, I started, really Get Healed was Cry Mo, Talk Mo,
Hello.
which was about crying and about talking and about feelings, because everyone kept telling me to stop crying.
Right.
And I was like, no.
Right.
Like,
I
mind
need
your
to cry.
business.
Right.
You know,
Like,
but they were loving me, you know,
Yes,
but
yes.
it's like, no, I need to walk through the fire because I can't keep going like this. So life happened,
Right.
and now I'm a better actor for
Nice.
it. I'm a better artist.
Nice.
I'm the best I've ever been.
Right. And a person. I mean, better person. Sometimes you have to fall apart and so you can rise like a phoenix. And I don't know what happened to everybody else in quarantine, but I had to listen.
Yeah.
Rise
Rise
like a
up.
phoenix. So speaking of fire, how long have you been pursuing what you're doing? And if you weren't pursuing becoming just this mogul of production, what would you be doing? And when was the turning point to make you realize, okay, this is what I need to do?
That's a long question, but I got you, boo.
Because you're going to have a long answer.
Yeah. I sat here and I'm listening and I'm engaged, and in the back of my head also, like, Alyssa, you got to answer this question. I'm like, there is nothing that I would do instead. I would be miserable instead.
Yeah.
Like, I would be not me if I couldn't tell stories, if I
Right.
couldn't be everything that I was, like, I'm a vessel. If
Yeah.
like, and so I'm like, no, I don't, my answer to you is like nothing. Like that's who I am.
Right.
There is no other.
Right.
Like there is no plan B.
Right.
Like God, the universe, all like me, like everything in me was like, you were an artist. You were a storyteller. Like, I'm gonna hold for that plane.
Yep.
But
Our words are important.
Like,
Good job.
that's the producer, director in me. It's like everybody hold for plane.
Yeah.
Plane.
This footage is
We're
important.
very close to Burbank Airport.
But everything in me screams artist. I tried to be in the corporate world beforehand. I got out of college. I went to a private school, Northern Virginia. Everything that I have done since I was this big was theater and being a storyteller. I was in the corporate world working for like the government contracting, and I was absolutely miserable. My soul was dying. To the point was like, I can't do this shit no more.
Right.
So packed up my stuff and I moved to LA, and that was 5 years ago. And the turning point for me, because I got to LA and I dove head into the classes, the headshots, all of the things to be like, I am going to be a working actor that creates quality content and gets paid monetarily for it. Like that was my affirmation. I was like,
Yes.
this is and then it got to the point like right before the pandemic happened. Like I was working all of the damn jobs. I was doing what's the grocery thing? Instacart. I was doing Postmates. All of the things. Underground poker games. I
had to quit because I was eating the fries. I was eating your food. If you order DoorDash between any time in 2019, I was eating your food.
I mean, it happens sometimes. I mean, we hungry.
All the
Anyway,
time for me.
but it got to the point. I was like, I'm tired of waiting for opportunities. I am tired. I don't want the industry to tell me what kind of artist I'm going to be. Like I know what stories I want to tell. I want to make people uncomfortable. I want to push buttons. And it's fucking scary because it's a different there is I'm gonna say it. There's no validation in that.
Right.
Like you have to validate yourself.
Yeah.
That part.
And it's hard.
Yep. Especially in a city filled with your worth is tied to just all of this stuff.
Yes,
So, yeah.
like what you're booking, who your agent is, all of this. And I was like, Alyssa, like, baby, like you can either keep doing what you're doing and struggle, working 5 jobs. There are nights like I slept like 2 or 3 hours. Like, and I'm like, I'm up and I'm doing it again. Everyone's like, how do you do it? I don't fucking know. I just do. Or like, you can be like, you know what? This is what I am called here to do.
Right.
I'm gonna go big or I'm gonna fucking go home. Oh no, I'm not going home. I'm going big.
Right.
Like,
Right.
You
can't go home.
No.
You can't.
No. And so it got to the point I was like, well, I'm gonna give it all I've got if it kills me. So there's nothing that I would rather be doing. Like, even though there are times where it absolutely hurts, like a hurt that I have never experienced before for my art, for my craft, that like it is, but I'm happy. Like I have never, like it's the highest high that I've ever been on, but also one of the lowest lows. It is so weird, but I am so grateful and I'm so happy, and I can't do anything else.
Right. I feel like when we're all on these journeys, right? Everybody can go this way, that way, up, down, all around. But I feel like when you are walking in your purpose, it is very, very lonely, right? You guys have seen Rambo. I was like, this company is a baby. He's a baby. We're going to grow together. That's literally, like, he's very, very symbolic because I can't commit. I
was like, support.
I can't really commit. So what I was saying was, when we're on these journeys, right, and sometimes we're like, oh, this is super hard, we will meet people on our path that make sense because it's lonely, right? And so when you see like maybe 1 or 2 people, you're like, hey, are you also walking in your purpose? They're like, yeah, come on. And I feel like that's where I met you guys from, right? I am a alpha female, whatever, yada yada, I'm a Sagittarius, all of this stuff, like, okay, we were all rooting for you, just like Tyra. And the rest of the Psycho Sagittarius. But anyway, so I've always had this, like, I'm hard to work with, I'm difficult, I'm whatever. And it's like sometimes you get labeled with these things simply because you know your vision and you know your path, and no one's going to stop you. Like, going through your vision, you're just slapping people out of the way. Like, not really, but I mean, sometimes people need to get slapped. But no, sometimes you're just getting all these people out of your way on your journey, right? And then you meet these people that make you realize that you're not difficult.
Right.
They make it easy. You're like,
listen, was this difficult? This was nothing, this wasn't difficult. However, many people that are not really on the same path will be like, oh, this is difficult, because they don't have a big, clear vision, right? Yeah. So I'm proud of myself in that I'm able to have a successful assistant that hasn't quit within the first 30 seconds.
Sis,
right?
you're doing a good job.
You're doing a good job.
Yes.
And so I'm very proud of this. Tell me what you guys are proud of in this moment in your journey and everything you're doing.
I'm proud of you.
Thanks, girl.
I really am. I prayed for her in Ghazi. What does that
It means
mean?
blessing.
It means blessing. So it's a big deal to me. I am proud of seeking God first in my career and in my calling, because the success, the fruit. Can we talk about fruit for a minute? Fruit. That's how you judge a person. We all judge people, and preferably it would be for the benefit, right? Not for any ill intentions, right? For the benefit. And you judge someone by their fruit. What is this? Like, look at your fruit. Like, look at this. Look what's around you. Look what you built with your own hands. That's what I was telling everybody when they came in. She planted these trees. You know what I mean? That's godly to me. So I recognize that in others. I'm proud of putting God first, because I'm able to build something that will last. Not something, because like I said, I have lots of ideas. These are not just ideas that are good. These are God ideas. These are ideas that my children's children are going to be talking about. Yep. I'm building a legacy.
Yep.
That's it. So when I'm dating, I don't even date. I'm courting.
Yep.
You're courting me. Yep. That's it. You're not coming to my house. You're not coming unless I'm doing dinner. So it's like I'm proud of that in my career, in my calling, in my relationships. It's not just, I think before Get Healed and before this vision, I always had the vision, but the vision was kind of scattered. It was like the vision wasn't like, because God kind of made everything like, okay, here it all is. Because you have that guide. When you're trying to do it all on your own, it's just not it. Especially as an artist, you will end up doing drugs and out here doing, it's too much. It's too much. So for me, I'm very proud. You know what I'm saying? It's too much. You end up,
hold on. You're going to end up doing what a lot?
Drugs. Okay, I'm from Detroit. Did we already say that? Okay. So you would just end up out here trying to do stuff on your own because you're stressed. Because actors, they be stressed. I know a lot of actors who are working full time. Let's just say that. Okay. I know actors who are booked. You know those Instagram posts where you see where it's like, co-star, da 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 da. I know. Booked it. Yeah. Blessed. Who are sad and just busy and tired. And I'm not saying that we don't all get there. I get sad and busy too. But the point is like no comparisons. Right? And it's a practice. So I'm proud of putting God first, because now I know that even when I'm tired, even when I'm weary, I know God told me to do that. So I'm not depending on God told me to do it. I'm successful. That's it. Because it's not just a good idea. It's a God idea. And it's also great.
Right.
It's both.
Yo. How am I supposed to follow up on that? I'm like, Elijah, I just...
Well, y'all know I'm a minister. I'm like an actor, reacher.
I'm like, well, shit, I should have gone first.
Don't do that.
I know. It's good.
I know you love yourself.
No, I do, yes. And I, for me, it's focus. It's my ability to listen to what I have been told and trust in my purpose. And there are times where, there's that voice that's like, Alyssa, you got to do this. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. And I'm like, but I don't, have you seen my bank account? Do you understand? I'm like, I hear you. I do. And everything around me is telling me, nah, bitch. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this and fund this short film, and I don't know where the money's coming from, but it's a great idea, and I'm gonna, following my vision blindly and just being focused and consistent and terrified all of the time. And just doing. And so, I'm very, even though there are times where it drives me utterly insane, where I feel like I'm a fucking crazy person.
Right.
I feel crazy.
Right.
Because other people, I have a handful of people in my life that support, and they're like, yo, okay, we going this way. But majority of the time, I'm like, are we going this way? Mm-hmm. Why? But I'm like, take a breath, and I'm like, okay, because baby girl, what else you gonna do?
Right.
You gonna give up? You're gonna stop? You tired? Really?
No.
I'm like, okay, so I'm very proud of, and I'm very grateful for my focus, my drive, and my determination. They're all kind of in the same boat in terms of I believe.
Right.
Going back to the first question, there is nothing else that I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
So we all of the eggs are in that basket.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm proud of that. Good. Other people be like, yo, cuckoo could over here.
Right.
But I am that engine that could, and we just gonna keep going.
Right.
I love that.
Whew, these are good answers. Okay, so the one word that pops up in my head often, just all the time, is support. Whether it's a lack of support, whether it's needing support, whether it's praying for more support, whether it's feeling just utterly unsupported, right? In what ways do you feel, okay, I'm gonna start with me. Sometimes I just wish I had way more support. And I wake up every morning and I thank God, and I'm very grateful. But then there's still a piece of me that wishes I had a little more support, right? Whether it's just someone reposting or just anything, right? What are your takes on support? It could be needing support, wanting more support, saying thank you to someone that has supported you. What is your take on support?
Support's important. And sometimes it is also, I've had to learn that it is learned, because you have to, again, allow for the support to happen.
Right.
But also, you want real support. Mm-hmm. You don't want that half-ass fake support, people that say that they're down for you and that they're going to be there, and then they're not.
Where you at?
And there's an element, and I've been there, in terms of losing friendships. People that you thought were family, and it is heartbreaking. But through that, I have learned who the people that actually support me are, and I'm a pain in the ass. Mm-hmm. I am stubborn. I'm independent, and sometimes I block that support because I'm like, I got it. I can do it by myself. I don't need help. I don't It's yo, baby, what are you doing? These people are here for you, and but you're blocking that, and you're not allowing that. And the people that are really there for you, who show you in some, for me, it's out of fear, to show that that I need help, or in accepting that help, and maybe having to give something of myself to someone else. So
would you say you're one thing you may want to work on is allowing support?
Yes, and and that has been learned for me. I have some ride or dies in my life lately, and okay. To the I'm gonna breathe because I'm afraid of getting emotional, about it.
We got carpet; it'll catch. The carpet will catch your tears.
I'll catch it.
It's not about it's more so how the well runs deep. It's how deep that support goes, and it doesn't it's not quantity. It is
absolutely
quantity. No,
quality.
Quality. It's not quantity. It is quality.
Right.
And I always I was such a people pleaser. I'm a yes woman.
Yep.
I'm there for you. I got it. Expecting that people were going to do the same in return. And then the people that actually were doing the same in return, it's like, oh, sometimes like I slept on them because I'm trying to do all of this for everybody all of the time. And then you just get to that point where you realize, oh, you're a real one.
Right.
You're a real one.
Yeah.
Hey, you're a real one.
Yeah.
And
Getting choked up here.
and it's like, oh, okay. They're there. The support is there. You have to allow it and know that it is enough. Like the numbers, and like it's a numbers game, and we all, like social media, with all of that, we get caught up in the numbers of things and not the quality of it. And I'm like, damn. Like,
I started getting real jaded 9 years on YouTube and stuff, and I was cranking out really quality content, but you know, some brands were like, oh, she doesn't have high numbers. And I was like, have you seen my content?
Yeah.
Have you seen? And with that, and me thinking about, oh, I want bigger brand partnerships, I want, you know, a bigger number, I was not necessarily paying attention to the 7 people that were consistently in my comment section.
yes.
And so sometimes you're just like, you know what, now in my life, because I'm coming from the same mental space as you, now in my life, I'm focusing on the people that are showing up.
Right.
Yes.
And that's it. The people that are just showing up to support, because everything else will drive you bonkers.
And they are like, those are your ride or die fans. Those are your like in love with you, anything that you, and those are the ones that you need to also pour back into. It is reciprocal. It is not a one-way street. And with that, it is so important, because those days where like you need to be held accountable, or you feel like you're like, I can't do this no more.
Right.
Like those people are the ones that believe in you even more than you believe in yourself sometimes. And it and it just like it happens. You need them. Like, as much as you don't want to need people, like you do. You cannot do this by yourself. And that support is necessary.
Nice.
Take this before
Thank
I cry.
you.
I'm waiting for the tears. How y'all doing out there? Y'all getting some gems? You got your mental notebooks? Support. The question was, how do we feel about support?
Well, what is your take? Tell us, when you hear the support, right? When you hear the word support, what immediately do you think about? Like, are you happy with how you're being supported? Do you wish you had more support?
I'm thinking about Friday's event.
Go ahead to let us know what happens on Fridays.
So we have lots of events, but Get Healed has a new event on every Friday called Thank God It's Friday. And we come together and we have fun on a Friday, because I feel like on Friday I'm always looking for the move. I'm always texting people like, what you doing? Like, what we doing? Like, what we sliding into, you know? And it's like, I wanted to create a space where at the end of the night, we didn't end up drunk texting our exes. You know what I mean? Like a space where we leave and I'm like, I'm about to go home and write this film. Like, I want people to leave fueled up. Why am I leaving drunk and I spent $26 on a drink? No, I'm on a budget. So no. So anyway, so that's what Get Healed is about. Not all about, but that's what Thank God It's Friday is about. I cracked myself up. Don't give me the mic.
You got it. Because since you doing a good
job.
Okay. Good job.
So anyway, support. So I'm thinking about Friday, how I didn't know how to do the sound and how I was trying to run the whole show, right? Because I'm running the show. I'm like, this is what we're doing next. People are looking to me. Support. When I also think about it, I've been reading about delegating.
Ma'am.
Because now I have team members. Now I have people coming like, how can I help? People are calling me like, hey, event day, how can I help?
Yep.
And I'm like, because I'm so used to doing things on my own.
Yes.
So there's something about slowing down and be like, you know what you could do? You could get the snacks. I asked for bananas. He brings cookies, donuts, cups, plates, waters. I'm like, you know what? People are not doing this because they like me. They might be. But they're doing it because they believe in the movement. And that's what they say. They're like, so when I think about support, I think about vision. I think about vision. And if you have a vision, we were kind of talking about this before we started. You have a vision, build it and they will come.
Hello.
Yep.
Build it, because they'll start seeing, whoa, what she's talking about, I want to be a part of that.
Yep.
You know, and so I think about support, and I think about how I just get overwhelmed sometimes because And I have to remind myself that I'm not alone.
Yes.
Because even walking to the event space, I had like at least 5 bags of stuff. I have the backdrop, I have the ring light, I have the notebooks, and I'm just like, I don't want to carry stuff, and I have support though. And also, last thing I'll say about that, when you start to develop a team, I'm also responsible as a leader to be organized for my team.
Yes.
And it works. So you can have support, and if you are not organized, you can't be looking at people like, oh, you don't support me when you didn't do what you needed to do. You didn't text the people the event. Like, I have to realize sometimes if it was low numbers at my event, I'm like, oh, did I do
what I
let me go back. Let me go see, and sometimes it's not my fault, not even fault, but, it's as a leader, I have to realize, okay, did I organize a doodle that's like a thing to get people's, schedules? I'm like, did I send it out a month in advance so that all my volunteers had a schedule?
Right.
Or am I texting them 2 days before, like, hey, can you come on Friday?
Right.
I have to be organized in order to support my support.
So you have to give them the resources that they need in order to support you.
Right.
Exactly.
Like,
Right. So I'm learning how to do that. And I'm sure with film and producing,
ma'am.
I'm sure you're like, okay, Crafty, this person's vegan, you have to, support them too.
Right.
So it's, how do we deal with being overwhelmed? Can we talk about that? Because I'm learning.
I love
you
the
talked about
question.
focus, and I was like, sis, give me some focus. Because people think I'm so focused. They're like, oh
I
my
love the
goodness.
question.
Yeah.
Being overwhelmed, like,
don't
it is
know.
constant. It is not something that will go away. The anxiety attached to it, it is a moment, like, for me, the best thing that I have realized is you need to allow yourself to take a breath and take a step back. And be like, okay, feel your feet on the floor and like, I am okay. Tell yourself, literally, I am okay. And just think of that one, like, just one thing at a time, what needs to happen next.
One thing
like,
at a time.
Instead of thinking of the whole big picture, because
That's
that
me.
is how you get overwhelmed.
Why do we do that though?
Like,
Because we want it. Because
Yes, you care.
We want it. We just want it so badly, and then we just get so overwhelmed, and it's just like, okay, you will, but just like relax. Just like calm down.
Yes,
Yeah.
you have to allow for the process. Like, and in order to move forward, sometimes yes, you will take a step backwards, but it is still going forward. Like, I saw a chart the other day, like that visualize, like that drew out what it looks like to take a step forward and 2 steps back. And I was like, well, ain't that about a bitch? I'm still going forward. Like, oh, it's all a part of the process.
Yep.
And you will always get overwhelmed because you are not perfect. Like, you don't know everything all of the time, and you are one person. So when you take a breath, you take a step back, and be like, what needs to happen next? Even if it's just one thing, and then your brain is telling you, oh, but this has to happen before this, and this, no, stop. This thing needs to happen.
Right.
Whether it's picking up the batteries, whether it
Right.
is, I'm gonna turn the lights on, or like, okay, guess what? They will all happen before.
Right.
There isn't a right way. It doesn't need to be linear per se in terms of the things that happen.
Right.
Like, you don't have to check all of the boxes the right way.
Right.
They just need to
And
get
on
checked.
that day.
Right?
One thing that I've noticed is there's a thing called blessing stress that is real. And that overwhelms sometimes, like, when the things that you saw, the things that have manifested into your life that you're like, wow, I really was talking about this, and here, like this panel, right? You can, and you're just like, wow, this is everything I've ever wanted. And then you get so overwhelmed. And that kind of ties into kind of the self-sabotage of things where, like, you're getting all the things you truly want, right? And then maybe you're in your head too much to now where you're late, or now you're running behind, or now you're constantly like looking in the mirror like, oh, it's just, and it's just like a lot. I get overwhelmed a lot of times when I've been so blessed, and now I'm just, it's almost like I'm looking for what's about to go wrong.
And it's also self-worth.
Yes.
Like, you ask for these things, it's there, but there is a piece of you, that little voice that's like, you don't deserve this. Who do you think you are? What are you doing? Like, and your subconscious tries to sabotage it for you. so that voice, that thing is right.
Yep.
So that it's like, told you so.
Yep.
Got you, bitch.
Yeah.
That's what that
true.
is. Instead of, because even in being overwhelmed, it's the same thing. It's the same feeling. It's like, no,
Right.
I'm okay. I deserve this.
Right.
I am worthy. I am enough. I'm doing a good job. Like, and there's so many different words for it, but it's really all the same shit. Like, and that's my 2 cents on that.
No, this is really great. This is all I've really wanted, because I'm in my head a lot, and I'm always talking to myself, whether it's online or whatever, but like getting the perspective of other people who we do similar things, but now I'm doing like an event space now, so it's a little different. It's not necessarily I mean, I'm still producing things, but it's a different space within the creative realm. We're all doing creative things, so just bringing this to life has been beautiful. And I'm not gonna lie, like, we're gonna wrap this up because I feel like we are doing amazing. However, I do want to ask an ending question. Oh, hello.
I just used this one.
Oh,
Yeah,
hello.
Oh, just
I'm
kidding.
sorry. I think
There
I was,
she go. There she
oh,
go.
okay. Thank you.
Assistant.
Sis, you doing
Yeah,
a
good
job.
job.
Shout out to my assistant, y'all.
Yay!
Nichelle Design. She has some pieces in the back. So anyway, a final question for you ladies. What is your definition of success, and how do you know when you are successful? How do you measure your success?
Impact.
Okay.
Impact. I don't want to say that I know I would have given up by now. I will say that what keeps me going with Get Healed, acting is more plane ain't about to stand me up.
Hello? Period.
I'm about to speak some life into these people.
Point blank.
So, I think that what keeps me going is when, and it's different from validation. What keeps me going is when people will text me the next day or the next morning like, I experienced a piece that I've never experienced in my life by coming to that event. Or you said something to me that my mother said to me when I was younger. Because it's like, I don't know some of these people that come into the events. On Friday, there was someone who was looking for a Hollywood mixer, y'all. His name was Xander. He walked into the room. We were playing a theater game called Bippity Bippity Bop.
Hey.
Okay?
Yes.
I love theater games. And Xander walks in like, is this the Hollywood? I said, hello, come on in. And he said, is this the Hollywood mixer? I said, it is now. And he was like, I'm a writer. I was like, what do you do, Xander? I was like, what's your name? He's like, Xander. I was like, what do you do? He's like, I'm a writer. I was like, raise your hand if you're a writer in the room. 7 people raised their hand because a lot of people who come to the events are also creative.
Yes.
You know, creatives we're so spiritual. We're so in depth with it. So I would say impact. That's how I know, okay, Xander walked into the room, he left with 6 people's contacts.
See?
That has nothing to do, I'm the vessel, like you said earlier. But it also, when you are doing something that is so much bigger than yourself, that's what it is about. Because I could be an actor all day and be talented and gifted and beautiful. So what? I want something where it's like someone will not forget the encounter they had with me, which is what's taking me far, which is like why things are blowing up the way that they are. It's not because of charisma.
Right.
It's because of God. So I would say impact.
Nice.
Success. And I'm getting better with that, with reflecting on success, because this is even, I want to thank you for having a panel, because even as I'm speaking, and when I look back and watch it, I will be encouraged by what I said,
Right.
because sometimes when you're going, we all know this, you're not stopping to be like, I'm successful. And I
Right.
asked my friends, like, how are you celebrating?
Right.
My friend just did a triathlon, like, and I was like, how are you celebrating? Like, that's so big.
Right.
And I often am like, sis, how are you celebrating?
Right.
'Cause you're amazing. So measuring is a practice.
Oh.
So that's good. That's a good question.
You're doing a good
Yes.
job.
Sis. Whew. How do I measure my success? I have recently started changing my mindset around success, because for a while, like, I'd have to remind myself, or other people, like my mentor would remind me, like, I used to attribute like my financials with what success was. I'm having a booking block and like, oh my God, I'm not successful because I'm not booking, or
Right.
I'm not successful because I can't do X, Y, and Z for my parents, or like I can't give back the way that I want to. And there has been a handful of times where I have had someone sit me down and say, yo, like, aren't you excited? We have 3 projects in the pipeline.
Yeah.
And they're coming out, and like, we've got this, you did this, and you did that. And I'm like, I did what? Like, and then I'm like, oh, you were absolutely right.
Yep.
And I forget, I'm like, okay, for me, success, I'm like, Alyssa, are you doing what you said that you were going to do?
Yep.
Are you living and walking and breathing in your purpose?
Right.
Like, it's not about money.
Right.
It, like, are you telling stories that you want to tell? Are you pushing buttons? Are you making people uncomfortable? Are you having hard conversations? Like that. And then I'm like, that's right. And so going back to, you know, this time in my life right now is the highest that I have ever felt, because I am doing exactly what the fuck I said that I would be doing. Like, I am living my dream. It's not even a dream. I'm living,
Right.
I'm being.
Right.
And I'm like, bitch, you successful and you're doing a
Right.
good job.
You're doing a good job.
Like, and
You're
I'm
doing
like,
a good job.
oh, okay. And the rest will come. Stop worrying about what it looks like to others, what it looks like to, like, mainly it's like, for me, it's what it looks like to my family.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, because so much of what I do is for my family. It's for the legacy. It's for my imaginary kids that aren't here yet. I'm like, look, I'm supposed to be a mama, and if I'm gonna be a mama, I need to have these things in order for you. And I'm like, well, baby, guess what? If you get you in order for you, then, like, and you're doing what you're saying, like,
Right.
it's all gonna come.
Right.
And you are successful right now.
Right.
Like, the way I measure it is, I have to take a step back. I have to sit down. I have to breathe, feel my feet on the floor. And I'm like, oh,
Right.
I am not only doing it, I am being. Like, I am being what I have been called to be. And to me, that is an everyday lesson
Right.
of success.
Right. Wait for this plane. You know, we always talk about legacy, especially playing. I got a microphone, baby. I got a microphone. We always talk about legacy, you know, and a lot of times too, as women, sometimes people think that legacy is just the children that we give birth to. But I could die tomorrow and retire my whole family, like, immediately, with my brand, with this, with the, you know, just knowing that no matter if you ever give birth to children or not, you have given birth to the ideas that God has put inside of you, so that legacy is already here. You know what I mean? Like,
You never know who you're going
absolutely.
to affect, like what impact
Absolutely.
that you're going to have on
absolutely.
people.
Like, you guys are officially a part of No Hope Production Oasis legacy. You know what I mean? Like, this is the first panel highlighting women doing their thing, that are walking in their purpose, and who clearly see, because let me tell you something. We're up here, maybe we want to be further and all this stuff, but there's literally somebody going to a cubicle tomorrow, Googling how to get over fear. We had to get over fear, quit whatever jobs, do, like, cut off, do whatever we need
Okay,
to
talk
leave
about the
city.
sacrifice.
To leave whatever city. I moved here from Texas, right? To leave everything we've ever known for the unknown of maybe it'll work, maybe it'll not, right? Like, that is not, that right there already is like what most people won't do. People are still Googling how to get over fear. First of all, how to get over fear. They haven't even quit that job they needed to quit to now move, you know what I mean?
Yes.
They haven't broken up with the person they needed to break up with to find the supportive partner. They haven't done those type of things. And the fact that we've made that decision from where we're from, came here, also continue to make decisions to start things in one of the hard, people say, if you can make it in New York, you can make it. No. LA is extremely tough. I mean, I don't like subways, but LA is extremely tough. And I want to let y'all know that y'all are doing a good job. And my definition of success is this, like, every majority of the friends and the people that said they'd be around to come support when this became, when I talk about things but also bring things to life, like, I truly believe I'm a visionary, right? And that scares a lot of people, because a lot of people talk, especially in LA. A lot of people talk about what they're going to do, right? But when you actually are in the presence of someone that brings it to life, that is scary. That is extremely scary. So the fact that I'm doing this and I've done it and it's happening and we're here, no matter how many people are in the stands or not, it's happening. This is successful. This is success. And you guys are super successful because you're doing something in your own right that's attracting other people who want you to speak about it. So now you're speaking about your successes. You know what I mean? Now people want to hear how you got to, you know, you have a logo. You have like, people are wondering how to quit their job. You know how many people sit on a logo for years and still don't even create anything because they're still wondering? You guys are killing it. Y'all are killing. This is not easy. Y'all are killing it in some way, somehow. You've made it happen, and I want to let you know you're doing a good job. And I feel like it's on up and up here, because it's a very lonely path. Walking in your purpose, doing whatever you need to do, because a lot of people that can't really relate to that, they don't want nothing to do with you, because it's like, oh, because it puts a mirror up to what they're not doing.
Ma'am. I was like, yo, that's a whole other segment. I could preach
it's a
on
whole
it.
Mirror.
Yes.
And it's like, I wasn't trying to put a mirror up to you. I was just like shining light on what I'm doing, and would you like to? But they won't like to if they're not doing that. And we are connecting. Nobody's difficult. This wasn't hard. This is a success because we see each other. Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah, I know we're wrapping up. I want to add something to that about permission.
Yeah, for sure.
God was just putting permission.
This girl's a prophet, y'all.
Permission. Permission, because I know a lot of the times I'm that person you're talking about. Like, I'm Googling, and so many people from the outside would be like, you're doing so well. And I agree with them. I agree that I'm doing well.
Right.
I think that, I was going to pick it up earlier, but I didn't know.
Ma'am.
I was like, I don't know, it'll be distracting.
I am cold.
Right, yes. I love it. So permission, giving yourself permission. I know right now, technically, I'm not getting a job that is pay stub worthy, right? So I have this organization, I have these dreams, I have this vision, but I'm in this space where it's not a 9 to 5. And it's in the space where the majority of people would give up at this point, because it's like you're not seeing the
return,
or the financial fruit yet. You know, so just giving people permission, you know, whoever watches this, whoever's here, even if y'all go and talk to one person, your cousin or your friend, hey, I went to this event and it was like, it reminded me of you and that idea you have for that business with your dog and the shampoo company, you know, whatever. People have so many ideas that they sit on because I don't know why. You know, I don't really know why yet or why we do that, but I pray that we would allow, with every conversation that we have, to be the permission, right? Even if those people who, you know, when you're really, you know, your mama turns the light on, you're like, you know, and it's like, because it was dark, and you turned the light on. And I know when I go into a room, sometimes that happens. I come into a room and it's bright. And then I make sure I introduce myself, because I don't ever want women, especially, or men, to think that I'm intimidating. Right. And I'm like, hey, how are you? I love that. So be that permission. Yes. Because even when you see people who are you see them doing what you're talking about, because they do. They do that. Mm-hmm. And they may be like not talking about it. I mean, not being about it, but talking about it. Encourage them. Right. Hey, okay, you want to do that? Okay, well, I have an accountability thing every 2 weeks if you want to come through. I have dinner at my house on Wednesday. Do you want to come and just be around some like-minded people? You know, so let us be that. Even if people, you know, sometimes you got to cut people off. Mm-hmm. That's fine. That's fine. And that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about giving people permission to be the light because you are the light. Right. Right? So, God is good.
So yes.
Good. Whew. Oh, Alyssa, I feel like you have some piggybacking words. You cracked your neck. You ready for a little round two piggyback of what Alyssa
I just wanted to say that you also have to allow yourself to be the light. Mm-hmm. Because that shine is sometimes even scary to yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, it is so bright. You are so bright. And there are times where I forget how bright I am,
Don't
and that it is like that brightness is okay, and just because other people are going to be intimidated by it does not mean that you are supposed to turn it down and then you're not supposed to shine. Like, and so those people that are intimidated by that and that don't want you to shine, they're just not supposed to be in your life. Like, and it breaks my heart for people that have that shine and allow people to dim it. And so, like, to piggyback off of that, you have to allow yourself to shine. Do not be afraid of your own shine. I'm not saying that there aren't days that I am terrified of my shine. Like, I know I'm great. And that shit is scary. Because then also, like, it's all like, that thought of other people. Like, how dare she be great? How dare she shine? Who does she think she is? And it's like, yo, I'm Alyssa Aaron fucking Bray Boy. And like, and I'm gonna shine.
And iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
So when in those moments where you're just like, I just want to shine, be by yourself so you can shine in the bright room. And then when you meet other people that's like, oh, she's shiny. Yeah, she is. Let me put my sunglasses on. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still like, I shine too. Like, when I tell you that I genuinely, and that's very rare. That's very rare in this city, in this industry, to just really like not let someone else's shine affect you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because it's just like, y'all are shiny, but I'm shining.
Hello, but, like,
Yeah, we're
You know
all
what I mean?
shiny.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm shiny.
it is so rare, and especially in women. I don't know how it is for men. Like, however, like I would love to have that conversation at some point, but for women, it is so hard. I have seen to allow other women to shine and not be fazed by it.
Right.
I'm like, yo, baby, I am not your competition. I am my own competition. I still want you to shine. I still want you to eat. I want you to do all of the things.
This is a I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah, no, Mama,
but
you're gonna have to because
real quick. This is a bop that I came up with during quarantine. It goes like this.
Yes.
This ain't a competition, boo. Just do what you do. Do what you do. Do what you do. This ain't a competition, boo.
just do what you do. Just do what you do.
Do what you do. This ain't a competition, boo. I lost a lot of people when I opened up this place.
Yo.
And they was mad.
Ma-
This ain't a competition because you cannot compete. If you compete with what God gave me, you're going to lose every time. You're going to lose every time. Every time.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're going to lose
Oh,
every time.
I just have to say, I physically do not understand that. I don't think maybe it's just, and I don't want to sound naive. Maybe that's happened and I just haven't seen people fall off, but it's like, dang, do people really be like
Yes.
Yes.
strangers maybe?
Yes.
Yes.
It's
People
hard.
really are like, what do they do? What does it look like?
It look.
We don't have to keep going. Wait,
I'm sorry,
we
talking. I don't know, because I don't know what that looks like. Like, what is it?
It-
Competition? Like, people are like, I don't want you to win. Like, what is
Yes.
No, it
literally
is-
that.
Yes, but it is something
They
what
say
you have
it,
to
or what do they do?
remember. What you have to remember, what I had to remember when people fall out of your life like that. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with what's going on with them,
Yep.
their lack of self-worth,
Yep.
their insecurities.
Yep.
Like that is what it is. It is because you do. It is because you are you are doing exactly what you said and you're getting shit done,
Yep.
and people can't handle it.
Nope.
It is scary.
It puts a
because
mirror up to people. Like,
Yes.
it puts a mirror when this happened, the pandemic and everything. Because yes, I'm an actress too. I had an agent, all this stuff. But when the pandemic happened, I had very close friends move back home. I had people that I knew, a lot of actors, move back home, and I was preaching, you need to have your own thing, because nobody was prepared for the industry to just yak 'em, just take away all your opportunities, just all of it. And me, I was just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna keep going with my brand, and then I'm gonna do this thing right. In those moments, it puts a mirror up to them, like they're like, oh well, dang, what am I gonna do? Or like, and it's just, and they can't, there's a lot of ego too. They can't get out of their ego of like, it's not about you. This person is just pivoting what they're doing. But the amount of ego that people need to work through their ego before they can actually show up for other people.
Yes,
Yeah,
because crabs in a barrel is a real thing.
Absolutely.
Misery loves company.
Yep.
Like, it is a cliche for a reason. It is like, it hurts. It sucks because you like people will drop out of your life. Be like, yo, I thought, but wait a minute.
Right. Meanwhile,
No.
when you hit a new milestone and you look around and it's like, well, where? Well, I didn't switch up. I just kept walking in my purpose. They can't. I'm telling you, follow. Or when you are no longer on that struggle bus, you're like, this is my stop right here. I'm gonna get out of here and kind of chase, really, focus. Right? They're just like, damn, what we gonna talk about now? We can't talk about when we gonna make it.
We can't trauma bond together.
Yeah.
We can't commiserate.
Yeah.
Like, no, baby,
That's
because
real.
we moving forward. Are you coming or not? Like
Right. That's it. That's all.
It's a real thing.
It's
and
a real
hurts.
thing. And this is how I'm meeting new people now, like finding the people that make the most sense. And it's just like, all these other, they couldn't come. Sometimes people can't come where we're going. They can't come. And I'm not looking back because I was miserable.
And do not force them.
No.
Because all you're going to do is slow yourself down.
Yep.
If you are if you are used to being a 10 in terms of like doing things and you surrounded by a bunch of 5s, they about to make you a 7.
Right.
Like if you are constantly pulling people and trying to get them to do what they say that they want to do, no, they don't.
No.
Because people
Show
they
up.
put time and money into what they want.
Right.
Like
Attention, what does it say? Attention go, energy flows where attention goes, or something like that, basically meaning like if they wanted to they would, or XYZ. I don't know every scripture in the Bible, but there is one. I can't even tell you which woman this was, but I do know that it's maybe somebody can help me out. God said if you turn around you're gonna turn to stone.
Turn into stone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
it was
yeah. So that is, I think about it all the time, and I'm just like, if I go back, I already know what's back there. It's gonna be me trying to pull people up, to pull them to support, pulling teeth. It wasn't pulling teeth with you ladies.
Yeah.
Because you are also on the same journey, different journeys, but similar paths.
Yeah, definitely.
Feeding
each other.
Absolutely. So I'm not turning around. I'm gonna turn to stone and then be stuck in misery again. So
yes.
Okay, we can end it on this. We can end it, but I'm gonna say this too, which is kind of on a different note, but it's like it reminded me of it because I know sometimes I remember when I first got out of college, 20 years old. My best friend booked a movie with Mahershala Ali and like these big name people like Nia Long, and I was like, because I just got out of school, so I was like, I don't know if it was jealousy, but I remember with my boyfriend at the time, I just cried. I cried and I cried and I cried because I was young. I didn't know. I was like, oh my goodness, like that's so cool. I was happy for her. I was happy. And I feel like a lot of people are not honest about this. I was happy for my best friend.
Right.
But I was so young, I didn't have the articulation to be like, wow, I really want. The only thing I thought, people would just call it jealousy. Or they'll call it envy.
Yep.
What it is, catch it. You are recognizing something in them that already lies inside of you.
Right.
So you're seeing it and you're thinking, oh, I'm jealous of them. Even Instagram in the scrolling age, we see things, and sometimes it's just, we're just rabbit holing. But sometimes you see things and you're like, wow, what about, me? It's because you see something, and let's allow ourselves to be inspired. I really am trying
I can do that too.
I can do that too. And I'm trying to rewire my brain right now, and I've gotten so much better. Like I said, I'm about to be 27. That was years ago. Now, all my friends are eating. All my friends are eating, and I look at what they're doing. Things back in the day, I would have been so, discouraged by their success because I didn't understand. Look at my circle.
Hello? Yo,
Look at my circle. And even with dating, I feel that way. Like when I start dating and I start realizing, wow, that man really respected me. He said, no, God told me not to do that with you. And I'm looking like, but it's like, oh, I'm elevating. The people I'm dating are elevated. Right. The women I'm meeting are elevated. The spaces
it's an
I'm
energy.
in.
It's contagious. Yep. Like, yo.
You're on a new level, like a new floor.
Yeah, so it's like even when your friends do, like how you were saying, make it. It's like, oh, wow, at least I know her. At least I know him because we're all eating. At the end of the day, people who are really for you, okay, a lot of people, Issa Rae, she brought her whole crew with her.
Hello.
That's how it should be. And that's how I'm going to be for my city. That's how I'm going to be for everybody that knows me. Okay, just let one of us get in the door and we're all coming in. So, but
that's
also
how those people need to be supporting on the journey, because some people just want to hold on. They'd be like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I ain't never experienced that yet.
No.
I don't know.
Riding coattails is different.
Oh, it's the
like,
coattails. You're like, get
no,
off, get
no,
off.
excuse me. No, were you here?
Right.
You weren't? Okay. Bye.
Holding on
Like,
to that last little button. Get off of my butt.
Mm-mm.
But
Yay.
anyway, ladies, this was amazing.
Yes,
I hope
yes.
you guys enjoyed this conversation. Sis,
You doing a good
job.
job.
This is the first ever Sis You're Doing a Good Job, and we plan on having them monthly. Make sure you guys are following us on Instagram.
Oh,
No
yeah,
Hope Production
Instagram.
Oasis. Yeah, just a lot of cool things. Lots of collaborations, hopefully in the future with
yes,
us.
ma'am.
We all
Oh.
live very we're no-ho darlings. That's weird. I don't know what that.
The way
That's
that
weird.
broke up.
Right,
No.
no ho.
No ho.
Like,
No-ho darlings.
Like,
That's really ugly. I'm sorry about it.
We'll think about it.
Right.
We'll make it work. It's fine.
Right.
It's fine.
So anyway, thank you guys.
Yes,
and,
thank you.
Thanks for the support.
Ah,